welcome to Screen to Screen. I'm Andrew, and this is Chris.
Hi!
Now, you may be thinking to yourself, Binding of Isaac, well, that's not a movie. Well, maybe it will be.
Maybe it will be.
What we want to do today is, I love the game Binding of Isaac, and I know Chris enjoys the game as well.
Yes.
We want to see if we can kind of adapt this movie, adapt this game into a movie of sorts. So,
to that purpose, I will choose Isaac because the movie would be about Isaac.
Of course it would be, yeah. I guess let me get this out of the way. Like, we're probably going to do some Binding of Isaac spoilers. It's kind of hard to spoil the game because no one really fully understands what's going on.
Yeah, so if you're okay with having that spoiled, you're going to learn.
Yeah, like basically what the end of
even I'm going to learn because I'm not super up in the lore.
So,
this isn't Dark Souls, after all.
So the idea of Binding of Isaac is the movie's probably going to have to kind of stay true to the opening little graphic at the beginning of Binding of Isaac. You know, Isaac lives with his mother, and she hears the voice of God, and she has to kill her son. And so, kind of Isaac, he hides inside of his toy chest.
Yes.
And this is sort of his adventures. Well, like. A lot of stuff is kind of unclear. There's he goes into a basement and he keeps going lower and lower, and then like is he in the toy chest the whole time? Is this whole game just his last thoughts before he asphyxiates?
Before he suffocates.
There's a lot of things that are not 100% clear, but are implied. And I feel like first of all, we kind of have to figure out is this an animated film? Is this a live action film? Is this a weird puppet film? Is it CG? Like how do we?
That's true. Medium is an important question.
It's really going to dictate how weird we get with this. I really don't think if there's a real child playing Isaac, I don't think we can. I think we're going to find it hard to make it that gross and weird.
Yeah, I think we're looking at an adult animated movie.
Yeah, I think you can definitely make it with a kid, but you're not going to get as gross as you want.
Yeah,
because people are gonna feel bad for him. I'll feel bad for him.
Like I'm thinking, it's gonna get the food. What the hell is sausage party?
Oh, right.
The sausage party people involved.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get them because. You want to pay your animators. I'm thinking either CG or, honestly, in a lot of the advertisements, they do fun stuff with, like, puppets.
That's what I was thinking. Like, there's really gross-looking puppets.
Yeah, I would say do it CG because for production costs, that'll keep them down.
What do you think about maybe...
But make them look like those puppets.
Yeah, I was thinking that, or maybe like something like stop-motion... I can't remember the name of the company...
Leica?
Yes, Leica.
I mean, if you can get them to do it, 100 million% yes.
I mean, they probably would never do
question. Like, what would be easier is you can get a company that's not as prestigious as Leica, who always write their own movies, as far as I know.
Yeah.
And instead,
because I like their aesthetic, that sort of like CG, like it looks like it's a computer generated thing because it's so precise.
It's so good. I would say get a company that does stuff of quality level similar to Sausage Party, and do it like the Lego Movie did it. Like the Lego Movie is entirely computer generated, but it looks like actual stop motion Legos, and that's just because of the style they incorporated. I think that's the right idea. I'm thinking opening credits, like a bit of a montage of the mother starting off as a happy woman with
with the husband.
Yeah, and watching that in a wordless music over montage.
It would be sort of like a dark comedy version of the beginning of Up. I think.
Yes,
like you see what would be said if this wasn't a dark comedy.
Exactly. I think that's a great opener. It doesn't waste any time.
Yeah, and I also think, all right, so the tone of this, I think it's a dark comedy, yes, but I don't think it's without true emotion. Like, I feel like it's going to be a bit more legit in its emotional gravitas than the Sausage Party.
Yes.
But it's not going to be up. You know, it's not going to be that sad. I feel like it's gonna deal with some dark subjects maybe, and it might make you feel a little something for these characters. But it's ultimately it's a silly poop monster, and you know, it's like that kind of stuff.
Like, you gotta lean into the funny parts, but you also need to really emphasize the fact that this is an abused child.
Right, exactly.
God damn you.
And that's the thing, like, that's a line we're gonna have to walk with this. Like,
yes.
It's really dark subject matter, but it's like and maybe that's it. Like, maybe the dark comedy gives us the place, the forum to address it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we can get kind of dark, but since he's like a creepy little puppet boy, we have like a step removed, so we can address these things. So I don't know, that's kind of interesting thing. I'm feeling like the movie, you know, after he gets into his room, like, I don't know if we want to say he's literally going into his basement and digging and going through trapdoors.
That is a question we have to answer.
I feel like at least at first it seems like it is. I mean, and maybe he is, but even if he's not, it should seem like he is.
Yeah. And
I'm thinking it's a little bit of an Alice in Wonderland situation.
We could even have like false endings, like in not like Alice in Wonderland, but in like Nemo's Adventures in Slumberland, where like
right.
Wake back up in the real world, but then quickly.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So so I feel like it's like maybe he follows a sort of White Rabbit character, like one of the creatures from here, or you know,
maybe one of his dead cats.
One of his dead. Oh yeah, like Bob or I'm sure Guppy.
Yeah, Guppy.
And then there's also the other question, like, you know, we're talking about is this really happening, or is this all a dream? I guess, you know, it's kind of Alice in Wonderland is a little bit of that question.
Alice in Wonderland, Nemo.
But then also there's a lot of characters, a lot of playable characters in this game, and it's kind of heavily implied that it's just Isaac with a costume on.
Yeah.
But you know, maybe it's not in this movie, or maybe it's a figment of his imagination.
I mean, so here's one of the things that always happens in video game adaptations is they make new characters. That way you could have a foil for the main character to play off of. Like, you need someone to talk to and reason with.
Right, yeah.
So I think one of those other characters might need to show up, even if they're imaginary friend the whole time.
Now, should they, like first of all, like, which one and how many?
Well, we could either go in one direction where that character is Guppy and Guppy can just talk.
Yeah.
And that way it's clear it's all in his head because it's like a severed cat head floating next to him.
That'd be good. Yeah, I like that.
And you can get like a really good voice for it, like Jude Law as Guppy's, Guppy's severed head. The other option is you take one of the other characters that... See, I don't know much about the lore of the world, so I would leave that to you.
There's not a lot of canon lore, though. Like, basically...
I mean, fan theory in these kind of games is valuable for that reason.
I guess so. Like, what we have to go on, basically, are the endings. I feel like one of the characters that we gotta bring in here is Blue Baby. Or, you know, question mark.
Yeah.
Because that's, like, the creepiest part of this game, is that, again... Like, I keep saying this, nothing's 100% clear, but, like, Blue Baby is, like, Isaac's corpse. Like, he dies.
Yeah.
So Blue Baby is, like, the game is probably his last thoughts as he's dying, as he's suffocating inside a toy chest. And Blue Baby is sort of, I imagine, like, what it's like reality kind of seeping in, like, this is, again, more spoilers, especially for Chris, who I don't think has finished this game
That's
as far.
It's okay.
But there's, like, Delirium, which is one of the newer bosses in like, the new expansions.
Oh, interesting.
And Delirium is, like, like the final boss so far. And Delirium is sort of, like, it's Isaac's brain just shutting down because he's dying.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I mean, that's how I interpret it anyway. So there's a lot of dark stuff in this, and maybe the adaptation doesn't have to be all of it. Maybe it's just the first basic game. Like, Isaac, like, who's the big bad? Is it Mom? Is it the devil? Is it Blue Baby?
One thing we could be sure of is I don't think this is the kind of movie that would get a wide theatrical release. But I think that's okay, because in the age of Netflix, people like Will Smith are making this movie Bright that comes out on the 22nd.
Oh, right,
already came out by now.
The
reason why I want this to be a Netflix release is because you could do it almost like a series of movies. And it's a much easier thing to do on Netflix.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So it's like each episode is like an hour long, and each episode maybe is one layer deeper, one more big bad.
Yeah.
So we got all these episodes. If we're doing a Netflix series, I kind of like that. Maybe the key to Isaac's salvation, he finds this out in the first episode, is he's got to like unite all the facets of his personality.
Ooh.
And he's got to meet all these characters.
Yeah.
Each level he meets, or each episode he meets like a new bad guy, but he also makes a new friend. And he's uniting his personality. And maybe at the end, like, I don't know, like, how does it end? Does he die? Like, he probably does.
I mean, that's entirely. I think we can go for a bit of an Inception ending where it's up to the viewer to decide.
That way, we can make a second season if it becomes popular. No, that's kind of cool. So Isaac, like the first episode, I think I'm bought into this. I like this Netflix show idea. So the first episode is sort of about his family life, or maybe that's just the beginning. Like we see him with his dad, and apparently, like, it seems like his dad's a good guy. Like all the signs seem to point to that. Like, the Polaroid, the flashbacks he has in one of the endings is like his dad seems happy. The mom seems like she goes a little weird, so the dad leaves. He probably should have taken Isaac with him.
Probably.
So maybe that he's not such a great guy. Maybe he's just like an abandoner. Like, I don't know. But it seems like Isaac has a fondness for him. Or, well, I mean, I feel like kids generally would have fondness for their
father.
Dad. And you have Dad's key, and that's an item, and it's everything Dad related is usually good.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a little bit of like a family drama there, just a bit, because we want to get into we want to get to the dark humor of it, so then the twist happens, and Mom starts hearing voices, and then Isaac's got to escape into the, I don't know what we're calling this world, like the basement world, like.
I mean, I think you could start with calling it the basement, and as the show progresses, you could change it up a little bit. Maybe
Guppy is like, all right. He goes into the basement. He's hiding in the basement.
Go on.
And he finds out like his mother buried Guppy in the basement. And Guppy kind of like is like a bit of a zombie kitty. And already, like, Isaac's like really scared, and maybe he's not thinking properly because like he's in a fight or flight kind of situation. And so he's already making friends with this dead cat. And Guppy is a bit of like a white rabbit, sort of, or
like a guiding force.
Yeah, and he, he's telling Isaac what he wants to hear, because Isaac basically is hallucinating this whole thing.
That was no good.
And then he takes him like the plot is he's got to unite his personalities. He's got to meet all of his friends, and he's got to get them together to fight the big bad, which maybe it's Satan. But it turns out it's really Blue Baby or something, or Delirium. Like, I don't know. I really don't know who the biggest bad should be.
I mean, that's something we need to figure out.
I mean, Mom's definitely one of them. I don't know if she should be the big bad.
I think if we're gonna call this like a season thing, season, the first season should definitely be Mom.
Okay.
And then some sort of like hinting fact that like that's not the end, or maybe that wasn't actually Mom.
Yeah.
Because we do need to have it tie together. We can't have Mom be like such a big force and like Mom wasn't the problem.
Right. I think Mom should be sort of behind the whole thing, but it's also an internal conflict too. So it's kind of difficult. I think the biggest hurdle of all this is like we have a fun framework for the episodes, but like the episode to episode plot, like what is he gonna do? Like, was he just gonna cry at monsters for half an hour, or an hour? Like, I don't know.
That's true. We do need to have that go somewhere. I mean, that's what the characters should be for.
Yeah, like each one of them has maybe like a MacGuffin that they need to sort of, and maybe like after he makes the friend, maybe does he absorb them? Like like they're gone, and he learns from them. And he becomes. And then there's like all these power-ups. Like the power-ups are the game.
Yes.
You got to incorporate them. Like,
but obviously, from like a storytelling perspective, walking between rooms and picking up things.
No. Yeah. That's it. That's the plot. The plot is a MacGuffin. Every episode's a MacGuffin.
Yeah.
Every episode, Maggie is like, oh, I need to get that yum heart, because it's like a memory. Like each item is like a memory that Isaac has to live through.
All right, if we're going for like this being memories, let's pull another movie as inspiration.
But we can also cut away from the basement and go back to flashbacks and learn the backstory. Yeah, forget that at the beginning. We're learning all about that along the way.
Go.
That's sorry, I didn't want to cut you off because I just need to get that out.
To pull for a movie that does a similar thing here. Pixar's Inside,
Inside Out, yeah.
Inside Out, yeah, like going through the memories, like growing as a person.
Yeah, oh, that's so good. So, okay, yeah. So, we don't see Dad at all at the beginning. Maybe he mentions like Mom's like, oh, if your father were here, we don't know. He's repressed all these memories about his father.
Yeah, like even during like that wordless opening credits for the first episode, instead of seeing Dad, like you get the impression there's something you're not seeing. You're just seeing Mom and Isaac and like pictures that are kind of blurry.
Oh my God, this is so good. Each episode he meets a new friend who's like a part of his personality. They have an item that they need, and the item is tied to a memory. And we get like each
and that's what all the items in this game are. It's always like,
Yeah. And we see the story of like his home life with his father and his mother before the basement happened.
Yeah.
And maybe they're parallels. Like maybe like the poop monster. Like I don't have a good real life analogy there, but let's say spiders because that's on the screen. Like maybe like he got left at a park or something and he got covered in spiders. Terrible example, but like I'm saying,
but like that's the idea.
Yeah, that's the idea.
These are all tied to things that happen to him.
Yeah. So yeah, that's good.
I you little jerk.
So each episode's all about memories, and kind. All right, so that's good. So we got a character in MacGuffin. Like I don't want to be like so formulaic where it's like, oh, what's the character, what's the MacGuffin this episode? There should be
you could
kind of more to
break
it than
away
that.
from that. Like you could have episodes that don't do that.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of like what are some good episode ideas. I mean, I think that's a great sort of like that's the plot streamline there. But here's an idea. Like, there's a casino in here.
Yeah.
Like, what if one episode takes place in a casino?
Yep, that could work.
Like, it's like Guppy's sort of like maybe his spirit guide. He knows the basement world. He knows it all because Isaac.
And you need episodes like that. You need those like fun, wacky episodes where you go someplace unexpected.
Yeah, and he meets like the beggars, all the different beggars that like and the devil beggar or like the evil or whatever. And there's these like little bosses here. Like some of these bosses can just be like, like they're mini bosses. Like,
I mean, they could also be parallels to his personality and what he's going through because we have greed and envy and everything.
Yeah. I mean, you could do that. Like you could do like 7 Deadly Sins episode. You can go into like the curse room.
Oh yeah.
And like I don't know what kind of stuff you can do in there, but or boss rush. Like boss rush could be in there. Like I don't know. I don't really know how you turn this into a plot though. But like different locations. It's not all just the same thing over and over. You could turn rooms into full concepts. A Krampus could be like it could be a Christmas special.
Oh yeah.
Like he's spending Christmas in the basement world. There's so many good possibilities. What do you think the last episode should be though? Like I feel like if his father's like this is like the hidden thing, like it probably should have something to do with him, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe his father, like maybe it's this sort of like fake out, or maybe it really did happen, like you're saying, like Inception. Maybe his father saves him at the end.
And we're not sure if that's real.
And we're not sure if it's real. Maybe it's just like the end that he wants.
Yeah.
Like maybe spoilers here, but like it's sort of like Pan's Labyrinth.
Ooh.
This could be Pan's Labyrinth. That's the closest thing to this. I need to remember to put a spoiler pick for Pan's Labyrinth.
Pan's Labyrinth.
But like maybe that's the closest thing that this is basically Pan's Labyrinth.
For the most part, yeah.
We could just take our cues from Pan's Labyrinth. Like it's like a dark comedy version of Pan's Labyrinth. And then, like, at the very end, we can have Isaac kind of he finds his happy place, and his father's there, and his mother's not there. Or maybe, you know...
If the show did well, then the next season picks up and, you know, that wasn't real. It turns out we're still there.
Yeah.
If the show didn't go well, hey, we have a happy ending.
Yeah. I mean, it could be, like, season 2 could be, like, Isaac's in the hospital being resuscitated, you know?